Good morning. Welcome to the SAEB Books for Peace International Initiative that was established by SAEBD-ICCC and the Portuguese East Indies Company. I am introducing the Deputy Moderator, Anis, and Vice President for Youth and ICT of SAEB. Anis, good morning. Selamat sore in Malaysia.
Selamat sore and selamat petang in Malaysia. For this series, introductions, I will pass to Mr. Eugene to further explain about how this series gonna take place. Thank you.
Eugene.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning to all our viewers in Europe, Africa, Americas, and in Asia. Briefly, let me tell you a brief insight into this series. The series is about promoting global cooperation, youth cooperation, and global citizenship education. We very much believe that by bringing a collective of people together, we can all make a change. The focus is very much people-to-people connectivity and people-to-people action. We really thank our long-lasting partner, Mr. Vitório from PEIC, the Portuguese East India Company, Mr. Vitório Rosario Cardoso, who we discussed this whole initiative sometime in the beginning of this year, and who has worked really tirelessly and hard to get it moving. The series of dialogues continues throughout to 2021. This is the first of the series, and we have chosen to celebrate the United Nations International Day for Multilateralism and Diplomacy for Peace as the kickstart day of this series. So back to you, to Mr. Moderator and your assistant. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eugene. Today we had a slight change in our program. Anyway, we are as well very honored to have the presence of the Prince Dom Dinis de Bragança, His Royal Highness Prince Dom Dinis de Bragança and Duke of Porto, who will be addressing on behalf of our program guest, Her Royal Highness Princess Maria Francisca Isabel, the Duchess of Coimbra, and then we wish fast recovery for Her Royal Highness. And then, yes, we are delighted to listen to the inaugural address of Prince Dom Dinis de Bragança, the Duke of Porto. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much. It is with great honor and gratitude that I am talking here today around such illustrious guests. When the possibility emerged to speak amongst all of you, the first thought I had in my head was my father's work throughout his lifetime. That is, to promote and strengthen Portuguese relationships, literature, and many other forms of culture all over the world. Ever since I can remember, my father always shared his knowledge and experience about the countries he has been to, their history, and Portugal's relationship to them. Back home, we would call him a walking encyclopedia, which still remains to be true to this day. Every time he came back from a trip, he would always bring three things: a small souvenir, a CD of traditional music from a local musician, and a book about the host country. Usually, the book was about their history. And without me noticing, I slowly fell in love with history. It was through the sharing of those books and my father's passion that I came to enjoy reading. So you can see, this is a topic which is near and dear to my heart. As a young Portuguese, I can still feel the cultural and historical connection with Asian countries throughout their Portuguese descendant communities, such as in Sri Lanka, Malaysia, most notably Malacca, Macau, Timor-Leste, Thailand, Myanmar, India, and Japan. Many Portuguese friends, and many of my Portuguese friends, embark on humanitarian cooperation with those communities. And they truly understand that there is a deeper and richer connection than what it was first thought. In these trips, when my friends and I were asked about Portugal, we did not know where to start. So we thought that since we always were looking for books that locals suggested, if we recommended books about Portugal, they would be equally welcomed by other youths. Surprisingly, this method worked extremely well. And we would never have such a cultural exchange if it weren't for those books. This tells me that even in an era where many people believe that books and life experiences are being replaced by internet counterparts, it is clear that youths have never lost its hunger for learning and exploring. What I also learned is that reading books is not the final goal. The goal of a book is to enrich our lives and share their knowledge with family, friends, and strangers. It connects us far beyond borders and helps us fight ignorance. In the book Fahrenheit 451, the main protagonist suggests that perhaps the books of the past have a message that can save society from its own destruction. In other words, he who does not learn from history is doomed to repeat it. Ignorance breeds fear. If you don't keep that fear in check, that fear will breed hatred. If you don't keep hatred in check, it will breed destruction. Books for Peace is a great title for this event because they are designed to do so. Through knowledge comes understanding. Through understanding comes empathy. And through empathy comes peace. I am a product of knowledge shared by previous generations. And I can tell you that knowledge really matters. It is the foundation of the future. This is why I am thrilled to know about the library projects in Malacca and Timor, which I am certain will bring more positive outcome than expected. I thank you all for listening, and I also thank you for your fantastic work to keep this idea blossoming.
Thank you very much, Your Royal Highness and Duke of Porto. And I am going to do as well a brief presentation of our session, and then as well as the Portuguese East Indies Company, as I represent on behalf, we are committed to. So the SAEB Books for Peace International Initiative was established by SAEBD-ICCC network member, SAEB Malaysia, Persatuan Sahabat Pelajaran dan Penaung Buku Malaysia in mid-2017, phase first, and then 2017 to 2020. Since 2017, the initiative has, in its pilot phase 1, enabled donation tons of books, primarily in Malaysia and Cambodia. Donated books have been given to schools and community centers. In November 2017, on a visit to Timor-Leste, the president of PSP-PBM, who is also the executive president of SAEBD-ICCC, Eugene Fransua Arokiasamy, met with senior personalities in Timor-Leste to discuss the potential of establishing Blue Ocean community learning and library centers in Timor-Leste, CLLC. The idea was well received. In 2018, at Parliament Malaysia, during the United Nations International Day for Multilateralism and Diplomacy for Peace Day celebrations, the Books for Peace International Initiative, announced by the Honorable Senator Donald Peter Juntin, was acclaimed as a noble and significant effort to facilitate cooperation between people and nations by Senate. In 2019, SAEB Malaysia made a visit to Hiroshima House in Cambodia, supported by Hiroshima House Japan, an educational facility for disadvantaged children. A nominal donation of books was made in lieu of establishing CLLC in Cambodia in partnership with Hiroshima House, Japan. This program visit was organized by the International Advisor of SAEB, Japan. Today, we celebrate the United Nations International Day for Multilateralism and Diplomacy for Peace. It is also the day chosen by SAEB-ICCC to launch Phase 2 of the international initiative SAEB Books for Peace Initiative. This dialogue session explores with a variety of speakers how international people-to-people cooperation can make the international initiative a collaborative effort that involves many partners and builds a future network that can facilitate the collection and donation of books. SAEB-ICCC, of which I am as well an international advisor, has asked me to lead with friends and partners in Portugal such an action focus on sending a container of books and other things to Timor-Leste by the end of this year 2021, and as well in further development of this project to Malacca, where we are as well anciently well rooted. Thank you very much, Eugene, for such of your invitation as well to join this project and to co-organize this event. And then I'm going to pass through this moderation to my colleague Anis, which is as well Vice President for Youth and ICT SAEB. Please, Anis. Your microphone is off. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm Anis. For further information about these programs, it's better for Mr. Eugene to explain how this project gonna be conducted, as he have more knowledge than me do. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, Eugene.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you to all of you who spared your time to be with us today. I'm a person who works from my heart, and I'm so glad Your Royal Highness Prince Dennis, you're also a person who's passionate and want to do so much, and I hope you will be involved in our activity. So thank you for delivering our keynote address. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody from Asia, Africa, Europe, North and South America who've decided to join us today in this collaborative effort. I once again thank Vitório Rosário Cardoso, my friend since the year 2000, and we actually met in Molina, Spain at a youth program organized by the North-South Center Council of Europe. And our friendship began there, and we worked on many other projects since then. Vitório was a visitor to Malacca. He's also met the current governor of Malacca, so I'm glad Vitório also mentioned Malacca, the Right Honorable TYT Tun Setia Ali Muhammad Ali Rustam, who I've sent information about this dialogue and who has also read it. We hope to be meeting with him in due course. Now, without more on the introduction, let me start off my section of the presentation. Please note, I've been warned because sometimes I talk too much. So it's also given a written script so I keep within the time span. I'd like to start off with thanking the speakers. Our speakers, His Royal Highness Prince Dennis of Braganza. Please convey once again my thanks to your dad, Dom Pino, Royal Highness Duke of Braganza for assisting. As I mentioned to you previously before we started, it is good to see that young people of stature want to be involved in projects that help others. It's not about charity, it's about goodwill. And it's about how we can all work together to make the world a better place. I worked for Rally International many, many years ago. And Prince William, at that time, joined, I don't know if you remember, maybe some of you are too young, but Prince William joined the Chile expedition in year 2000, and he worked on community and social development projects. So it's good to see the royal households also taking a very great interest. So thank you, Prince Dennis, for agreeing to deliver the keynote and join us today. And I hope you will also intervene and contribute towards the discussions. I'd like to thank Rosaria, an honored woman and seasoned development person, Timor-Leste, who I have great admiration, who set up an NGO in 2003, the same time I first went to Timor-Leste. We have met through Dr. Ramos Horta, His Excellency, past President, Nobel Peace Prize winner, who is also the patron of her NGO, HIAM-Health. I would also like to thank Carla, and I think Pedro is there. Carla is also there. I had the great pleasure of meeting Carla, a young person who is still young, in my opinion, extremely inspirational, and I hope will continue to make and further make huge impacts in the world through all the good work she does for youth and society development. Finally, in the list of speakers, our commentator, David Carmichael, a prominent lawyer in UK. He's a partner with Field Fisher, a legal firm with over 1,000 lawyers operating with 22 offices in 11 countries. It is very hard these days to find a prominent lawyer who has such a good heart and who's willing to commit time, effort, and even finances towards social justice issues. So thank you. Right. I have thanked Vitório. I once again like to reiterate, we have our Future Dialogue session series. The next one will be July 2021, when we celebrate the United Nations World Youth Day for Skills and Celebrations. I hope by this time we may be able, Vitório, I hope we may be able to speak to Tun Al-Rustam, and hopefully he joins us because he's also the president of the World Youth Foundation. Before I start to give you a brief overview, and since David Carmichael, our chairperson of SAEB International UK, is present, I would also like to announce we are very interested to register our European hub as an NGO in Portugal this year. We hope to do this with the assistance of legal advisors and friendly organizations and individuals. We hope to do a lot of programs, projects, initiatives for Asia, Africa, North, South America, and Europe from this base in Portugal. Of course, we have already mentioned this idea to Carla, the chief executive of the Portuguese Youth Foundation, and we also look forward to working with her. We already have a chapter in United Kingdom, and we hope there can be a collaboration between the European Hub and the chapter, because Portugal and UK also have a long history of collaborative efforts. We are also interested to collaborate with the people of Portugal and organizations realizing special needs projects, especially in inclusivity and employability that is focused on agriculture. Portugal has a long history of engagement in agriculture. These days, we see not many people wanting to be engaged in this crucial sector of agriculture, and more so sustainable agriculture. I was extremely pleased when I heard from Mr. Vitório Cardoso, Rosario, that His Royal Highness, the Duke of Braganza, is an agriculture engineer. We hope he will be involved in such efforts and take interest in such things. So today, as I said, I feel I should not speak too much. I'll let my colleagues have more time. And so can we just start off with the clip rather than me talking too much? I have done a video clip for a previous event, and this may give you an insight into the historical side of the development of our organization. So if I can pass it over to Vitório to play this clip, and then I come back again and continue with my brief presentation. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much, Eugene. I'm just going to share the video clip now. Wait a moment. the I think that the video clip is enrolled with the presentation first. Are you listening?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, just play if you don't mind, Vitório. If you can just play the video clip. Yeah.
Yes. Maybe we can do the presentations, and then I will enroll the video clip.
Okay. So if we look at my first slide, Anis, if you can intervene, please. Slide 3, please.
Wait a moment. Okay, edit. There's the slide here already. Anis, thank you.
Right. If you notice from the pictures, much of our work, actually, a lot of my work is inspired by my late mother, Margaret Teresa Arokiasamy. Of course, I also have another maternal mother, Mother Mary, who inspires me to try to do good things in the world. Both of them, my late mother, sure, and to do good things and try to be as much of a humanist as possible. But really, the whole idea of books and books for a friend started when I did a trip to Afghanistan on behalf of Afghan Action, which is the UK NGO. And there we saw this great desire to read, to try and change their lives by themselves, not just through development aid, by self-improvement. This was then later reinforced when I first went to do my project in Timor-Leste, 2002, 2004, ICT for Youth, and then followed by that going back as an international advisor in the Secretary of State for Youth and Sports Prime Minister's office when Zanana was Prime Minister and Ramaphosa was president. And that was really a kickstart because I used to spend time in the beach teaching the young kids some economic development on marketing, sales of their goods to the UN people, which will be covered in the video clip. And then finally, a group of us in UK, when I returned to UK, we formed a little club called Book for a Friend Society, which later on transpired when I came back to Malaysia, first time, or second or third, to look after mum, in the registration of an initial NGO on the 7th of May 2011. So Vitório, maybe you can play the slide then. It says very similar things.
Yes, maybe I will need to help a little help from Anis to send me the link, the video.
Yeah. Vitório, if we don't have that, we can continue. It's okay because I've already covered like most of. Yep. Okay, so shall we go to slide 4 in that case? Anis, if you can put up slide 4. Slide 4, please, Anis. Yeah. Okay. If you have a look at the pictures, pictures tell a story. They always do. And how we began Books for Peace, because the society in Malaysia, SAEBD Malaysia, had been supporting schools, community organizations for some time, and we decided to culminate the effort in establishing a new initiative. And the initiative was really very much cued and focused on promoting inclusion processes. So we started off with community organization schools. Some of the schools were also integrated schools with special needs children, and our special needs children, we chose them to be the champions. One of the schools in Wilayah Persekutuan, which is the federal territory in Malaysia, actually won the best library. And they got $100,000 gift to establish ICT facilities. So we're very proud of that. If you look at the photos, we've had like lots of different people. We went to Cambodia. We gave books. We started discussing with Hiroshima House, Cambodia, with an actual Hiroshima, Mr. Hirohiko, who's actually a Hiroshima survivor. And he's the founder of Hiroshima House. In the photo, we have some of our events. Actually, we send books by lorry, tons, because there are quite a few tons. Special needs help in distribution, and we have also individual donors. If you look in the bottom photo, Irene from Book Exchange has been very involved. And then, of course, we have the acclamation of support for our work. So this was very much phase one. We now move into phase two. So if we go to slide the next slide, Anis, which is slide 5. Yeah, okay. So in phase two, we plan to expand things, right? And since we already started the testing of our pilots with special needs, we have a new special needs program, which is linked to SAEB's work, which I'll explain a bit later. We want to show inclusivity, and we want to change the mindset of people in relation to books, community libraries, participation. So we have community libraries and people learning center concept, where we set up multi-purpose centers. As mentioned by Vitório, 2017, I went over to Timor. We met with many people. There are like 14 districts. We envisage setting up a little center in each place, preferably with a community farm, doing organic farming involving both special, non-special needs people, and self-sufficient with potential for income generation through inter-country and local sales of products and services. For instance, in our community centers, we could have legal advice, and hopefully we can somehow convince Field Fisher to be supportive of this initiative and other services. And we very much will focus our work in the first pilot in Timor-Leste with our partner HIAM-Health, which is led by a very, as I said, an inspirational person, Rosaria Martins de Cruz, and with the assistance of Robert Horta. For our initiative, we also have today with us Mr. Nasser Saleh, who is also a Paralympian, London Olympics and Rio, and he's also involved in this overall initiative. So if we go to the next slide, please, number 6. Okay, what happened recently on the 4th of April, of all days, Easter Day? Timor had a massive flood, and Ramos Horta posted on his Facebook, and I saw this in the morning, and immediately I got in touch with him. I sent him a message and say, Dr. Horta, we will try to help. And therefore, this platform we have today is a great opportunity to show our solidarity and inspiration to help people who have been the victims of a great, tragic, and devastating flood for a country with 1.2 million people, who is still in developing nation status, but has huge potential because the people are of great hope, initiative, and desire to improve their country's sustainability. I'm not going to talk too much about this project, only that we hope to send 1 container from Malaysia of goods, including books and other materials. And I hope my colleague and international advisor, Vitório, and also a very good friend, Vitório, will be able to do the same with likewise partners in Portugal, and maybe UK might be involved, to send also another container to Timor-Leste. Hopefully, if we can get it moving very quickly, we can do it fast. Today, I just got a letter from the state government of Selangor, Malaysia, confirming our meeting on the 7th of May with the State Minister for Health, Women and Family Empowerment, who we hope will help us lead this initiative. Selangor State is the richest state in Malaysia. It has nearly 7 million population. So I think the ability to garner support and to get goods in a container could be realized very quickly. But let's see. Okay, fine. So I will let Rosaria explain more in her presentation the situation of Timor-Leste and what everybody can do. Finally, before I finish on this slide, this is a people-to-people initiative, so all can help, right? Prince Dennis and your friends, please, you seem to have great interest in history, one of my favorite subjects, and books, and the capacity for us to use books as a very powerful tool rather than just iPads and electronic gadgets, right? The touch and the feel of a book says gives you a great different inspiration, different feeling in life. And I hope Vitório can organize a link up with all of us here today and anybody else who wants to be involved. Finally, the last slide. This is our team, right? We work together as a team. You will see, I have a position called like executive president. We really believe in youth leadership and youth taking the roles. So in our organization, youth vice presidents are equal to my role, right? And they tell me what to do most often. As I said, we have David, an inspirational chairperson. We have presidents of chapters from different countries, and we have a plethora of international advisors from all backgrounds. We don't discriminate, right? You can be. We have president who works in organic farm. This is fine by us. You can be, and we have also global country champions from also all different backgrounds. So that's our team. Thank you very much. I hope I didn't run off too much time. I think I did. I finally like to say thank you to our young vice president who's been working very closely with Vitório to get things done. My email and our website. Website seems to have gone into yellow, but it should be SAEBDinternational.org. That's my email. Please write to me. I always reply as soon as I can. So thank you very much. The final statement for me is, we have a flagship youth global champion that's sitting in front of all of you. That's Nasser Saleh, a Paralympian. Prince Dennis, please consider, right, being a flagship global youth champion for this initiative. I know it's off the cuff now in the middle of a thing, maybe probably not a proper thing to do in terms of protocol and formality, but I'm just doing it. So I hope you don't mind. And I may get into trouble and maybe banned from Portugal, but I don't know. But I'm asking you, please consider this. And the rest of you also, please consider being involved in our Books for Peace global initiative. And let's try and make it work 2021 to 2007. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Eugene. Anyway, I'm going to add your video of your short presentation.
Are you?
Is here.
Okay. Okay.
List of questions to answer in my capacity as the founding president of SAEBD-ICCC and the CEO of SAEB International Limited UK. SAEB International Limited UK is our commercial arm. Our model is very much based on participation and inclusiveness. So let me start off with the first question she sent. How did SAEB come to being? Well, the idea was conceived many years ago, 2017, while I was visiting Afghanistan on a mission. And during that mission, organized by Afghan Action UK, we came across the great desire for people, even during a war-torn situation, to want to read, to want to learn, to want to be literate, to want to be able to improve their lives by themselves. Following this mission, I returned to UK, and my next mission was in East Timor as the international advisor to the Secretary of State for Youth and Sports in the Prime Minister's office. We worked, but we had time, and I used to visit the beach because I love fishing, and I used to hang out with the local people, especially the kids who were selling little goods to many of the UN mission people. What really struck my heart was when the kids asked me for books. They didn't want money, they just wanted books. They wanted to read. They wanted to improve their lives. And that is when the whole idea of getting in an organization with a mission to collect books and donate them to people who want to read so they could be educated to discern was born. Timor-Leste, on my way back, I stopped in Malaysia, back to UK, and the whole idea, as you will see in our website, stated, conceived in United Kingdom. The founding roots really Timor-Leste and Afghanistan.
I see, and then it's gone.
Okay, thank you very much, Eugene. This is an excellent presentation. Due to time problem, I would like to ask Mrs. Rosaria Martins da Cruz, that is also online here, if we give the opportunity for Mrs. Carla Moro, the president of the Portuguese Youth Foundation, to make her a short presentation, because she will have to leave in some minutes later. But her advisor for international affairs, Mr. Pedro Nunes, will stay here. If you don't mind, Rosaria Martins da Cruz.
Hello?
Hello. Yes, we are going to... Yes, please, Carla Moro, please do your presentation.
Okay, good morning to everyone. And first of all, thank you so much for the invitation, for my presence here and the presence of Youth Foundation from Portugal. Fundação da Juventude is the Portuguese Youth Foundation and is a non-profit private institution of public interest focused on the interests of the Portuguese youngsters, namely in their education, social and cultural development, and their insertion in the labor market. We are present throughout the national territory. Our mission is to carry out or support initiatives aimed at promoting the integration of young people in active and professional life. With this mission in mind, we defined 5 areas of operation: education and vocational training, employment and entrepreneurship, citizenship and volunteering, creativity and innovation, science and technology. Fundação da Juventude, or Youth Foundation, is a 32-year-old institution and was the first private nationwide foundation with the exclusive mission of promoting the integration of young people in active and professional life. This foundation itself as a reference of excellence at the national level in the area of youth. Various areas of activity, with a few hundred volunteers providing service to the foundation, and without whom it would not have been possible to have gone so far. With regards to what brings us here today, it is important to underline that cooperation for development is currently in a period of accelerated transformation and evident transition. Through the proliferation of actors, the diversification of means of financing, through change in governance, development, aid, and the growing intersection with a multiplicity of areas and sectors. This change in the global architecture have a profound implication for the ways of doing cooperation, of thinking strategically about what the contribution of each actor of development is. I strongly believe in a multilateral cooperation between civil society organizations and their transformative capacity. And this challenge of creating a library in Timor-Leste and Malacca, the collection and donation of books, is an example of the transforming possibilities of organized civil society. Fundação da Juventude has been actively promoting inclusive education. I know that reading books make a great contribution to the psychology of each student. Books open the minds of the reader. Books also break down barriers. In group reading session at our centers, we notice a remarkable growth in the self-confidence and self-esteem of those who develop the desire to read. This is why I believe that such an initiative to encourage reading is worldwide. In order to ensure that reading is possible, we need to have books and other reading materials. Portugal has many educational institutions. We also have some of the oldest educational institutions in the world. I am sure that with the right approach and connectivity with these institutions, we can make book collection and and donation drive an activity in the country. This drive can be linked to the SAEBD-PEIC Books for Peace International Initiative and the project to send books to Timor-Leste and Malacca. Together we can make it reality. I finished stating that I believe in the power of the civil society, and this project can be a good example of this statement, since we are working closely together with different organizations from the civil society in order to make real this library in Timor-Leste or Malacca. Together, I believe we can change and transform the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Carla Moore, for such interesting presentation. And then I will pass the presentation to Mrs. Rosaria Martins da Cruz. I will wait. Might pass to Eugene, while Rosaria might face some internet connections problems in Timor-Leste. So we just wait for her coming back. Eugene, I don't know if you would like to add some other issues. Your mic, please.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello, Eugene. Rosaria is back again. Hello, Rosaria.
I'm sorry. I think I have a wrong internet connection.
Please, you may start your presentation if it's possible.
Okay, but I just tell that if maybe in the middle of the presentation, the connecting will be lost, and then I will try to connect again.
Sure. We are as well going to help you with your slide presentation.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, boa tarde from Timor-Leste. Good morning. So thank you very much for the great opportunity that was given to me to present the presentation in this afternoon. So I would like to thank you very much for Mr. Vitório and Malnutrition to organize the
session, the seminar. Oops, maybe is down. We might need to wait for Rosaria to come back. She's back. Yes, Rosaria, welcome back.
Okay, sorry for the internet connection.
No problem.
Today is a great opportunity for me to be part in the East-West dialogue presentations. So my My complete name is Rosaria Martins da Cruz, as Chief of Executive for National Organizations HIAM-Health.
Yes, you may continue, Rosaria.
Yes, yes.
Should we add on your presentation now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please. Yes, the presentation is on.
Sorry, I didn't.
Okay, the presentation is on. We are just waiting for the coming back of Rosaria. Yeah. Hello, Rosaria, your presentation is live, is on.
Okay, can we move to the second slide?
The second slide, please, Anish. There is a short lag of time. Okay,
Yeah.
the history.
So HIAM-Health is established in 2003 and then register as a national organization in 2004 in NGO Forum, and registering Minister of Justice in 2006 as a foundation. So HIAM is driven from acronym with our tattoo link.
Oh, this is not easy with Timor-Leste, but I think that we will sort this presentation out. Yes, is back. Rosaria, please continue.
Yes.
No problem.
Is the driving from the acronym Hamutuk Ita Azuda Malu. Together we help each other. So why I choose HIAM words on this organization, because on 2002 when we get independent, as a woman I was thinking that how I can contribute to develop my country. So, and then, but just by myself, I cannot do something for this country. So together with someone, I can help someone too. So that's why I put Hamutuk Ita Azuda Malu in our this organization, to be together, we can help each other. Next slide.
Okay. This is the next slide. I'm going to put Rosaria back in line again. Please continue, Rosaria.
The slide.
Yes.
Any slide.
The projects.
The project in 2003 to 2009, we are working in National Hospital with Minister of Health to support the vulnerable people is come from municipality, stay in hospital that is not have a family in Delhi. So we are support on social, pastoral and palliative care. So we also do primary care education to the parents of children, malnourished children under 5, and then
This is not easy, but we will keep going with the connection with Timor-Leste, because currently it is also a miracle that we can unite people from Portugal, from UK, from Malaysia, Timor-Leste in the same session without the need of taking a flight. Hope that from Timor-Leste we will briefly have the connection back. But anyway, Eugene, I don't know if you would like to have any consideration.
Yeah, well,
okay.
I get.
It's back. Rosaria Martins is back. You are back, Rosaria. Please continue.
Okay, so we provide a child primary care to the parents in National Hospital, distribute milk powder and a food supplement to the children under 5, pregnancy lady and lactation mother. So we also do a cash funds to some parents that come from the municipality and when do the treatment and want to go back to the home, but it's not have money to transport them back. So we do some cash to the parents and also do the monthly monitoring and training to the parents. We recognize in 2006 that malnutrition is very high issue in this country.
Well, it's off again. We might need to wait for some few seconds. Or yes, it's coming back.
It's going off and then I should be...
No problem. Proceed, Rosaria.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We will put you online, no problem.
It's the problem with the internet connected. So we do we recognize that malnutrition stunting for children under 5 in this country. It's very high. In 2004, it's 46%, and then it's not reduced, but it's still going up, decreased the number. And then in 2010, it's become 50.2%. So that's why we recognize that malnutrition was very big problem for this country, because the impact of the malnutrition to the children under 5, it's the mentality and the IQ, physical, it's not good. So we collaborate with Ministry of Health through Nutrition Department and present our...
Oh, is gone again, Rosaria, but in few seconds she will be back for sure. Yes, we have her already here. Yes, welcome, Rosaria. Yes,
so,
please.
Okay, and then in 2006, we buy the land in the capital Delhi, and then we present our proposal to Ministry of Health, and then the proposal was approved. We used the proposal to make the fundraising and find the donor to support us on opening a rehabilitation center for malnutrition under 5 in Timor-Leste. So in 2009, we are moved from National Hospital to our own office, our own land in Delhi, and then we are establish our program as normally. And into...
Well, we lost her again. Maybe I will ask Rosaria whether we can show some declarations of Dr. Ramos Horta as well. Rosaria, do you mind if I show in your next breakdown of internet connection the message of Dr. Ramos Horta that we have it?
Yes, I'm agree.
Okay, please proceed with your presentation.
Okay, so in March 2010, HIAM-Health launching the rehabilitation center for malnutrition under 5. That was referral from National Hospital and from 5 referral hospital in Timor-Leste, and also from community directly. So this rehabilitation center as a first rehabilitation center for malnutrition in Timor-Leste.
Okay, I'm going to add on
health in Australia, Singapore, and wherever.
I'm going to add on the beginning of the message of Dr. Ramos Horta.
Health in Australia, Singapore, and wherever you may be. I'm here at HIAM-Health. I'm here with our great fighter, Rosaria, and all the great people of HIAM-Health. As you know, terrible floods have rocked Timor-Leste throughout the whole territory, as well as, you know, eastern Indonesia. The magnificent work that has been carried out by HIAM-Health, by Rosaria and her team, with your generous support over the years, has been severely damaged, undercut by these floods. I'm here and I have watched and seen. I personally trying to help with some donations of my own so that HIAM-Health can quickly recover. But whatever you can do, and I know you have been always very generous to Timor-Leste, to the work done by HIAM-Health, please help us help HIAM-Health recover for the sake of our malnourished, poor families, children, and mothers. I thank you and God bless you all.
Yes, this was the presentation, the message of Dr. Ramos Horta. I don't know, Rosaria Martins da Cruz, are you listening to us?
Yes. So I just turned off my laptop and then just connecting directly to my mobile phone.
Sure, please proceed with your presentation then.
So
the slide is on, yes.
Okay, good.
I think it's down again, the connection with Timor-Leste. This has not been easy, but we are persistent. Hello, Rosaria, you are back again?
Yes.
Please proceed with your presentation.
Okay. So I need a slide.
The slide is on.
I didn't see the slide.
It is written as our projects.
Okay, so I didn't see the slide, but I can continue to present.
Yes, please.
So yeah, I didn't see the slide. Oh my God.
The slide is online. We must make persistency our motto to maintain the ties and links with Timor-Leste. Or Eugene, do you have any suggestion to make?
Well, you know, the thing is, Vitório, this is relatively common, and I think people should realize that like connectivities in different countries vary. Timor just had its flood. One of the systems that is quite down at the moment is also the internet system. So we have actually been practicing quite a few occasions, and we also experienced this. However, maybe it is an idea to just quickly skim through Rosaria, because you know she both with phone and laptop seems to be a problem, but Rosaria is back. Like, if we can just be a bit patient and understanding that this happens quite often.
Sure, please, Rosaria, welcome back. We are persistent, and then we are keeping you on track live.
Okay. So in 2000, and then the proposal was approved by Minister of Health, and then we launched in Rehabilitation Center in 2010 to 2014. On 2014, temporary, I was make decision to close the center because we have a financial, limited of financial support. So government doesn't support. We are find a donor to support this.
Yes, let's wait for Rosaria. Briefly, she will be back. Okay, she's back. Yes, you are online again, Rosaria.
Oh, God. So the Center of Rehabilitation, it's not only to rehabilitate malnutrition, that suffering from the children that was suffering from malnutrition, but we also have a main objective to educate the parents, to educate the family, educate the mother on how to care their children. So our education is we are integrated health in nutrition and agriculture. So we implement home kitchen garden to the family that was suffering from malnutrition. So in 2019, our center was.
Okay, wait a moment. We will have Rosaria back again. Yes, as you have said, and maybe we can as well share the later on we can share the slides with our guests, and
Okay.
as well we can share the slide with our guests later on. As well, we can put this presentation online to share with our viewers, if you agree. And yes, please continue.
In 2019, the center was recognized by the government as a national training center for agriculture and horticulture. And then we get accreditation by government through CEFOPE to delivering training to the youth and the community farmer in Timor-Leste for agriculture certificate 1 and horticulture certificate 2. So we have a community development in agriculture and horticulture in the municipality.
So maybe in this breakdown, I can add, as Eugene said, that the Duke of Bragança is an agriculture engineer. He's as well East Timor-Leste citizen, not only Portuguese citizen, but as well Timor-Leste citizen. Rosaria, I'm referring to the Duke of Bragança. His Royal Highness the Duke of Bragança is as well East Timorese or Timor-Leste citizen, Timorense.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Wow. So we expect that in the future, for sure, the Duke of Bragança is someone that is always with Timor-Leste in his heart, and the royal family is very committed as well with the cooperation between Portugal and Timor-Leste. But continue, Rosaria.
Okay, so we...
Oops. Maybe we lost some precious seconds of the speech of Rosaria. I'm going to let her continue once she's online. Please continue, Rosaria, immediately. Thank you.
So we are working to support farmer in Timor-Leste because, as you know, our food production it's very low. So that's why how we can increase our food production in Timor-Leste to respond for the export and also increase the food production to resolve malnutrition problem because of the insufficient food intake for the family. So we are supporting in the rural area, focus in the rural area to the farmer groups. So we also train on nutrition sensitive agriculture to the extension worker from Minister of Agriculture. As you know, the extension worker from Minister of Agriculture, the background of the extension worker is agriculture, but they don't understand about nutrition. So we are training the extension worker on the nutrition value. So the extension worker, it's not only teach the farmer on how to plant, on how to control the products, and on how to collect the seeds, but they also can be teach our farmer on nutrition and food balance, and it's all for solve malnutrition in this country. So we have excuse me, I have a slide. So we also working with Minister of Agriculture to support extension worker, and then extension worker can support our farmer groups in the municipality. So we
Anis, I think you should change to the next slide, please. Yes, I will wait for Rosaria to be back again. She's back. Please continue, Rosaria. You are live.
Okay, so we are support the farmer in training, and then in the equipment of the agricultural equipment, and also we are connecting our farmer with the market, because malnutrition in this country, it's not only because poor of knowledge, but also economic income is very low. So that's why we are link our farmer with the market. We not teach only how to eat, but on how to sell the product and get the money, and then for sustainability of the garden, and also for household necessary, and then pay the student school. Next, the slide.
Next slide. Okay, thank you, Anish. Rosaria will be back in few seconds. This is a very short break. She's back. Okay, Rosaria, the next slide, books, education, and agriculture.
So why books, education, and agriculture very important for Timor-Leste? As other guests already explained, that the books, incompetence learning as parents not be able to buy smartphone or computer because low income. So in Timor-Leste now, in the pandemic global COVID-19, and we have floods happen in this country, so all school was closed. So government declared to be online study, online education. But as you know, 400 suku and villages in this country. So
okay, this is some few seconds break, and Rosaria will be on again. Is back. Please continue, Rosaria.
because all school is closed, and the government declared to be use online education study, so the children cannot access to the internet. People living in the rural area, rather than we independent close to be 20 years now, but some of suku in Timor-Leste is not have access to electricity. Family doesn't have a money to buy smartphone or computer. So that's why when we talk the books for Timor-Leste, the books, it's very important. So for the kids, just to stay home without technology tools as a smartphone or computer, but the kids are still learning something, because education is the key important for Timor-Leste for development. But now the kids just stay in home. They not have a school because we have an emergency state.
Yes, the COVID-19 situation is obliging all families to be locked down. Is back.
Oh my God, sorry for...
No problem, Rosaria. Please proceed, no problem. We are persistent.
So, with the books, parents can use books to teach their children without smartphone, without computer, without any technology tools. So parents can still use the books. Children can still learning something every day, every minute, rather than just sitting in the home or wasting all the time, didn't do anything. So they can read the book, encourage children to read the book. So students and community can access to land, because as you know, since we independent, we have a Sanana reading room, but we didn't have a national library in this country yet. In Timor-Leste, we have a two school. We have a public school and then we have a private school. Usually private school for the people that have a money, so they can pay the kids go to the private school because have a good quality education in the private school. But for public school, it's very bad quality. I say bad because reality I see with my eyes. I go every school, primary school in the district. The condition of the infrastructure of the school is no chair for the children to sit and learning.
It is very interesting what Rosaria is sharing with us about the conditions, the real conditions of the current conditions of the families in Timor-Leste. Please, thank you, Rosaria.
So that's why I will say that books is very important for education in Timor-Leste, because with this situation now, and then because also we didn't have a library in Timor-Leste, national library. We have Sanana reading room, but we didn't have a library in Timor-Leste. And then every public school in all territory of Timor-Leste is now have a library in the school. So to empower people, empower the Minister of Education and the community and the students and then the school, to all Timorese people.
Well, I can share that I myself, in Macau, we had a municipal city library that used to have a section for kids' readings. It is very important, such libraries, because I grew up with such library as well.
Okay.
Please, Rosaria.
Okay.
You are in.
So, with education, we can change the life of the people. So with the book and education, we can improve the mentality of the Timorese people. So with book and education also, we can develop our country to become as another country in the world that already brilliant, like Portugal, Australia, and America. So I say the book is very important and education very important in Timor-Leste because of the reason as I mentioned. So why agriculture? I also say that agriculture is very important in Timor-Leste because, as you know, our income, the main income is the petroleum. I always tell to everyone that petroleum oil one day will be finished. The oil or petroleum, it's not a sea that always been there. Every day will be finished one day. So if we didn't empower people in agriculture, so when the petroleum was finished or oil was finished, how Timorese people can be live in this country without our own food? So now we are suffering from malnutrition because one sector is the food production is very low. We are dependent to the import food, like a staple food as a rice is import from Indonesian or from Thailand or Vietnam. So now as a Timorese, we are increased our farmer on food productions, empower youth through education. as opportunity, because the youth, every youth in Timor-Leste now come to the Delhi, living in the capital Delhi, to find a job, abandon their own land in the district.
Rosaria will be coming back in few seconds. It is very important that we can connect worldwide. So please continue, Rosaria. You are back.
Okay, why we empower youth? Because as you know, when 400 years ago, when Portugal was in Timor, Indonesian also in Timor, mostly of Timorese people, 95% to 98% is the farmers. We are farmers. My parents also farmers. So now all youth, it's not respect to the farmer's job as a farmer. They come to Delhi with one objective.
Is down again, so will be soon back. Is back again. Okay, Rosaria.
Again, so
yes, please.
the youth was come to Delhi and then find a job in Delhi. They was thinking that Delhi can make money, but in reality, they in Delhi, but unemployment is very high unemployment in this country. Every year we have a lots of graduation from 5 university in Timor-Leste, but all graduation is unemployment. Didn't have a job. They didn't have a creative, so that's why we are empower youth in here through training on agriculture and horticulture, and then nutrition. So with one objective, the youth can go back to the district, go back to the parents, go back to their own land and utilize.
We'll be back. 1 second. Okay, it's back.
Hola, Mom Vitório.
Yes, please. Rosaria, okay. Welcome.
The slide was lost.
No, the slide is here. I think that we maintain online the slide. You may continue to make the presentation. Wait a moment.
I want to be continue, but we have a problem with our internet connection in here. So it's like on, off, on, off.
Yes. But yes, the slide is here. Don't. Yeah. You can continue.
See the slide in the screen, Mom.
It is in the screen.
No, I just leave the host.
Oh, is in the screen. I don't know if you are accessing, but people, the viewers can see your slide.
Okay. Hang on.
Is it okay for you, or
it's okay for me now? Yeah, I can see. Okay, we changed the youth mentality to prioritize the agriculture.
Whoops, it's down again. We hope Rosaria can come back soon. She will be in some seconds. Is back. Welcome back, Rosaria. Please proceed.
Okay, so prioritize the youth we prioritize youth in order to prioritize the agriculture sector. not only an occupation, but as a way of the life. So it's not only working in the public service that they can have money, but working as a farmer also, they can make money. So I always tell to them, if you didn't want to go back for your municipality, you just stay in Delhi and no have a job for you, what we will be do? So don't ask our nation to do something for you. So now we are independent. You should be do something for.
Some seconds, 5 seconds, and Rosario will join us again. Yes, you are back, Rosario.
And we encourage the youth to see the farmer as a job. So we solve malnutrition and well-being for the long term. So with books and education and agriculture, so we can solve malnutrition in this country and the well-being for the long term to all Timorese people and for our country.
Thank you. Another slide, yeah.
Okay.
This is the next slide is on the cooperation between HIAM and SAEB. So Rosaria will be coming back now, is online, please. Please, Rosaria.
So HIAM and SAEBD, as you see, our long-term mission, the HIAM-Health mission, so we won't be recognized as a leader in vocational training to enhance knowledge and ability and drive action for sustainable agriculture and nutrition in Timor-Leste. So, and then when we see SAEBD also have a same mission as us, so want to promote education, because as you know, the education is the key. That's why we want to be partner with SAEBD for the future in this country to support the initiative for special needs and non-special needs for the people in sustainable agriculture and global initiative. So how we can work together as our acronym for Hamutuk Ita Azudamalu here, how we can work together to develop Timor-Leste.
This is an important point of cooperation between Timor-Leste and our communities. Is back again, Rosaria, to explain better. Please continue, Rosaria.
So how we can work together to develop Timor-Leste in education, agriculture, and health, specific for nutrition problem. So Timor-Leste is a new country, and we are independent, want to be 20 years. I recognize that we have a lot of problem, a lot of challenge that we are very need support. We need a good partner to be working together to resolve all the problem that was happening in this country and looking for the future for the all well-being Timor-Leste people and well-being for our nations.
Maybe next slide, Anis. Thank you. So we can see here that even in Tetum, there are some the local national language of Timor-Leste, the official language, Tetum as well, have a lot of inputs of Portuguese words. And is back. You are back, Rosaria?
Yes, I'm back.
Yes.
So, thank you very much for the times. I apologize for the internet connection. And then I apologize also for my language because, as you know, English is the second language for me. And thank you very much for all guest speaker and moderator and Mau Eugenio to organize this dialogue. So hamutuk ita sudah malu, together we help each other. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rosaria, for your such interesting and in-depth presentation and on current situation of Timor-Leste, that for sure, whereas from Portugal or neighboring countries, Australia or Malaysia, that we belong to. So the next speaker or commentator, Anis, what do you think? Should we pass to David Carmichael, or what should we head to now? Your mic is off. Yes, maybe it's on now.
On.
Yes.
It's on now? Okay.
Yes.
The connection was just off again.
Okay, maybe Anis, have you turned your mic on, because we are cannot hear you.
Let's just introduce David, right? Maybe Anis.
Yes, please.
So, hi, David. Would you like to comments? Thanks.
Thank you very much, Eugene, and thank you to Don Denise and to all the other participants in this morning's presentation. I should first of all say that I'm a practical lawyer and a fairly hard-headed sort of chap, keen to assist where I can. I do a certain limited amount of charitable work in my home city of Manchester in the UK. But the day job is advising businesses, primarily employers, in connection with HR and labour issues. What draws me towards a number of the programmes that Eugene has been able to bring to this session, it is the hard-headed practicality of it. The imparting of knowledge in the form of the Books for Peace programme, it is just another example of the way in which he's able to deliver practical assistance to those who are less fortunate than ourselves. We are, I think, all of us on this call in the fortunate position of having ready access to information, even if that's demonstrated by the fact that we are participating in this forum. We clearly have internet connection, and therefore a world of knowledge is literally at our fingertips. I think that there are a good deal of problems that the world faces, and at the risk of being overly political, I think what we saw with the presidency of Donald Trump was that knowledge can be very powerful. And I think that imparting knowledge in the form of a book program can help to liberate the mind and to engender a desire to help in a practical way. Clearly, Twitter, for good or bad, has a place in the world. but there are clearly limitations on the ability to impart complex ideas within 280 characters. So again, very much of the view that books are a road both to insight and knowledge and developing relationships across the world. One of the questions that I have around the programme is, in the event that we are trying to get books to those who do not have ready access to them, to what extent we are reliant upon local leadership, and it may be at a village level, to what extent we're reliant upon them being welcoming of such an intervention. All too often, Western countries and Portugal, Spain, and the England and UK have got a long colonial history, for good or bad, and we don't necessarily want to be seen as imposing our ideas or indeed our philosophy. So it clearly needs, as a programme, to have local leadership and local champions. And I'm interested in understanding if there are barriers to assistance that come at a local level, and if those barriers are overcome by any particular approach or model that's been adopted by SAEB. So perhaps I can end what I said and leave that question probably with Eugene, I suspect. But I do very much hope that we can engage practically in delivering a fruitful outcome. Obviously, money is something which lies at the heart of the effectiveness of any programme, but also networks as well, bringing people together for the betterment of those involved within the network. And I think today's session demonstrates the real value of the network. I'm not going to say any more. I am a lawyer, and I'm at the risk, therefore, of talking far, far too long. And it's contrary to my lawyer's code to speak for too long without being paid, and I'm not being paid.
Thank you very much, Eugene. Carla Moro from the Portuguese Youth Foundation, she might need to leave, but Pedro Nunes, the international advisor, will be staying with us.
Thank you,
Carla.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Carla.
Yes, so Eugene.
Yeah, I think very quickly on David's question, I think the power of the teamwork, right, and understanding that we need to consult people who are the recipients of what we intend to give is the starting point. So we could have a dual process, and this is quite a good starting point in terms of having a network of similar thinking people now in this platform, and maybe it can grow from that. We have a focal point, which is HIAM-Health, which has been established in the country since 2003, since the few years after their independence. So, totally agree. We cannot impose. We shouldn't impose. We may not even be sending the wrong things. So let's consult with the local people, understand what they want, their needs, and then we facilitate and support in return. So yes, thank you very much, Chairperson David Carmichael.
Exactly.
I don't know,
Eugene.
Would the rest
Yes,
like
please,
to
Eugene.
contribute? No,
Yes,
would the
I
rest-
think that Nazer have a question also to His Royal Highness Dom Dinis de Bragança and other speakers. Please, Nazer, would you like to pose your question?
Hi all, can you hear me?
And Nazer Saleh is from Kuwait.
Yeah, but I'm living in UK now. It's a pleasure to be with all of you, and it's a great honor to talk and to be part of this project. My question is, because I'm a special needs, I would like to know.
And as well, Nazer, you are a Paralympian.
Yeah, I am Paralympian. I come. Sorry, my English isn't that good, so I will try to explain. I competed in London 2012 and in Rio 2016 as a wheelchair racer in 100 event, and it was a great honor to be a sport player to play in Paralympic Games. Was wonderful. And my question is, I would like to know about some of ideas to involve special needs people, both physical and cognitive, in the box of peace international initiative.
So I will pass the word to His Royal Highness Dom Dinis de Bragança, the Duke of Porto. Hello.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, and I loved hearing everyone around here. I think the main benefit with books, which we already discussed, is that it's the most reliable way to share knowledge. The internet gave us a great tool to communicate, like we are doing right now. But we cannot forget books. They don't need to be charged. They don't need battery. They don't need Wi-Fi. As we mentioned, it's the simplest and most permanent and sustainable source for sharing knowledge and for generations. And so even, there's already many great ways to improve this. For instance, there's a Braille language, which I believe it's Braille, how you say it in English, for people with visibility issues. And also, evidently, there's many other forms to improve. Either I know some books which are especially made for children who have attention deficit disorders, and so especially it's a really important question, because obviously when we are doing this initiative, we really need to include also every type of kids that has a somewhat difficulty to access the information.
Thank you very much, Your Royal Highness. And I don't know, Pedro Nunes from Portugal, from the Youth Foundation. What is your point of view of the inclusiveness of the access to the books?
First of all, I want to say hello to everyone, and it is a great pleasure to be here with you today. This project is really interesting, and I think taking the words from His Highness Dom Dinis, books don't need to be recharged. They are accessible, and they are already written, and they can be read for so many people. And we have seen in Portugal so many projects of, well, we've seen it for more elderly persons, that some libraries have their employees to read to elderlies that don't have company. And we can apply this methodology to persons that have some disabilities. The Braille is a good way to also increase the inclusivity of this project. Also, I was thinking while I was hearing this question, while we are collecting the books, we can, since Fundação das Juventudes Youth Foundation works with other national organizations and knows lots of organizations that work with AIDS to help youngsters that have disabilities, and not youngsters, but people with disabilities, either physical and mental. We can involve them in this collection. They can help us to collect books to give, and this will create some drag in the process and some leads to impact more in the project. And I think this project is not just to create a library, is to create a movement. And as Eugene said, this idea is not helping because we want to help, is because it's the right thing to do. It's what we feel it's right, and I think it's everything I have to say for now.
Thank you very much. Eugene, do you have any say on this question?
I concur. I think people, the passion is what will make this thing happen. And we seem to have many passionate people here with lots of skills and ideas. So, yeah. If you have another question.
And I think it's Anis. You have a question, but are you with the mic on? Maybe you should try to go out of the program and get in again. Maybe we'll solve this problem.
Me?
Or Rosaria, have you listened to the question of on the issue of inclusiveness of the different type of readers or people with disability in getting in touch with the books?
Sorry, Mom, Vitor, can you?
Yes, Nasser Saleh had made a question that he would like to know about some of your ideas to involve special needs people, both physical and cognitive, in the Books for Peace International initiative.
I believe there was a problem with the connection again.
Yes, okay.
As well. An important thing which I think would be also interesting to add would be that books itself, although being an ancient technology, it's still prone to development. So when you're talking about books, there's so many ways that you can create a book, so many ways that you can give information, that it doesn't need to be homogeneous.
Very well, thank you.
Just add something quickly, Royal Highness. Like the other thing about why we do this is like we're really not so much into new books, right? The idea is promoting the spirit of caring and sharing. So if you have a book at home, donate it to us, right? It's environmentally friendly because we don't
have many. If you wish, I would much likely share with you.
You know what I mean? No, what I'm saying, like to the large, right? So when we share secondhand books, we don't have to print new books. We don't have to destroy the forest. We don't have to make paper, right? And books have glue in the back of them, right? So you can't really recycle them. They have to be put in landfills. So we have also the environmental thing, and also the human element, I have been to this many meetings where people say, "Oh, iPad and this and that." You know, a book is a totally different experience. Not saying that iPads or whatever are bad, but like, you know, they sometimes are in different circumstances. They provide more accessibility. I mean, Rosario, my dear colleague in Timor-Leste, you know, we have been there. I mean, she talked about Zanana's reading room, no live national library. It's really easy for us in that sense, you know, to have like organize a quick consultation meeting, maybe in Timor-Leste, organized by local people with some support facilitators. We could do online stuff, find out what people actually want in terms of books. Simple university books we could share. You finish your year one, you've got spare books, right? You may want to share those. So many different things. Children's books. When in Afghanistan, for instance, right? War-torn people who are in war-torn situations. A book is a serious comfort psychology tool, right? Coloring facing our victims of bombing. These things make huge differences to the growth of an individual. So, you know, we look at a multitude, even cooking books on nutrition, as Rosaria said. These are, you know, in different languages. Our idea is international libraries. So we have books in Portuguese, books in Japanese, books in Chinese, books in Bahasa Indonesia, books in Tetun, different books. And that, in a way, you know, a small kid from Portugal picks up a book in Japanese, they get attracted by it, they want to learn Japanese. We have helped to facilitate international cooperation in a way, right?
Exactly, Eugene. And then as well as due to my past professional experience, as myself, I had the honor to serve the country of Rosaria. I was press attaché of the embassy of Timor-Leste in Lisbon, as well served throughout many years at the CPLP, Community of Portuguese-Speaking Countries Secretariat, to advise the executive secretary as press advisor. And one point is very true and important. In cooperation, we must know and ask our partner what they need is the main point. Otherwise, we are doubling the efforts or sometimes trying to help in a field that is not so necessary. So this is very important to know our partners, exactly what they need, what titles they need, so that we can enhance better the cooperation. And I think Anis is back. And Anis, is your sound okay?
Yeah, I changed to my phone.
Thank you very much, Anis.
It's not detecting my voice.
Yes, and
yeah,
Anis, maybe you can add your question to pose your question to the speakers, and then maybe Rosaria can add up the answers for both questions. Please, Anis.
Okay. My question is a very quick one. Okay, how all of you think these youth from different culture, religion, gender can work together to ensure this program, Book for Peace, can be successful. And I guess Prince Danish, you should have got better knowledge, as we both know we are youth, and how we can help to give our opinion how to make this event success. Thank you. That's all my questions.
Thank you, Anis.
Should I respond, or I don't know if it's in the order or?
Yes, please.
Great. Well, as of now, I am in a fortunate position of in the middle of my university, and in my university, I'm studying abroad, and it's a very diverse environment, and I mean diverse in every aspect of the word, you know, cultural, religious, geographical. So it's really a mishmash of a lot of different opinions. And truly, what I realized is that also we are in a very strong learning environment, which foments a lot really the concept of talking and understanding and trying to listen to one another. And it is possible, obviously, to do it. I mean, there has to be, some would argue that there has to be some common rules of, per se, not being very intrusive or anything, but still, you know, to initiate. From what I've heard and from what I've talked with, even with my university colleagues, is most of them, they have many different ideas. Youth have 10,000 ideas in the head, and they're trying to make sense of it all. And sometimes it's very confusing, sometimes it's very stressful. And truly, if you ask each and every one of them, they will ask, they just want to be heard, so that someone can understand what's in their head, and so someone can make sense of it all. And so it is, what I sometimes find is that the best way to rationalize someone's thoughts is by talking. And so I will argue, I'm a very strong proponent of book clubs, and book clubs for youth is something which is in my university when I participate. So I think I would challenge the youth, if they don't know any, quote unquote, establishment book clubs, if you can find just 3 or 4 friends and say, let's try to read a book together and discuss between each other. And ideally, if you have someone who is an expert in the area, who is a bit more knowledgeable, they can help and orientate their thoughts to a more rational and more reasonable way of thoughts, per se.
Thank you very much. Rosaria, are you available to answer?
I be able, but it's just internet connection. It's like when I talk in the middle of my talk.
No problem. Please share your knowledge with us in this question of Anis.
I didn't complete it here at his questions. So
is on the situation. How can people from different cultural backgrounds can enhance better this project? How do all youth with different cultures, religion, gender work together to is down? So maybe I will pass to Pedro.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting question.
We will be back to you, Rosaria.
Okay.
Sorry. I do believe that youth has unlimited power, and we have two different parallels. One, if they are interested, they have unlimited power, and if they are not interested, we have to give them a push, as Israel Aina said, so they get in their way. And I guess a good way to start and to get moving and to get some buzzing with this project, to get some books and to start the project, we can start by multiplying some youngsters. So we start with some local youngsters that are highly motivated and that we know, and we Fundação da Juventude already have local youngsters all over the country that we know that are motivated and have their local network of other youngsters that can multiply, and this multiplication is what leads to great movements of youngsters, and is what is the association of youngsters and the other movements of youngsters. And I guess this the key point of this project, and this is what we should focus on. But I should mention, and I'm young, and I believe in the power of the youth, and I guess that there are no such thing as not interested youngsters, but not really well-informed youngsters. And if we inform them well, they are interested. But we have to work from youngsters to youngsters, not from old people, or not old people. Sorry. Well, there is no old people in this room. I only see young people, younger than me, I can say. But sometimes what we see is different languages to youngsters, and that's the problem. And I guess this is the thing that we need to address. We need to give them the push in the right language, and this multiplication with the other youngsters that already are the youngsters that are the multipliers is the right way. Thank you.
Yes, Rosaria, how do you think that youth with different cultures, religion, gender work together to help this book for peace campaign become successful? Just finish the question again, and she will be back for sure. Eugene?
Vitório, yeah, can I propose something practical, right? We seem to have a group of like-minded amongst us at the moment, right? Can we just, like, amongst us, can we just set up some kind of working committee? I don't know what it's likely. And within that working committee, youth have their own space. So you have your own youth thing, right? And you tell us old folk, because it's true. Pedro, you're right. I'm an old guy. David is younger than me. I think no. So we can have youth adult partnership, right? Intergenerational. But let's have something, because also it's quite important that the young take ownership of this, because people like us have to move on somewhere else later on, right? So if we are going to hog the whole picture and control it and be like, dictators and blah, 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 don't work, right? And you're right, Pedro. Like once when I was speaking to Horta, right, he told me, like, let Eugene go to USA and open this coffee shop. And he told me, oh, my friend Beyonce or something like that. I didn't even know who this person is. And like, apparently she's like kind of a famous music singer kind of stuff. And when I spoke to all the young people, they said like, what? You don't even know about this music thing. So yes, the intergenerational and generational gap, right? It's good to have two empowered groups, maybe working with other, but you have your own space to decide, right? And you decide the rules. As Prince Dennis suggested, Pedro, Anis, I think Nasser also is a young chap. You guys can work together and come up with the rules. Different continents. We have Europe, we have Asia, and Middle East. Right? Immediately we can set something up. We have the older folks. I speak for myself, of course. I won't criticize any of my young colleagues also there. We can do whatever we can. So this is just my interject. Okay.
Thank you.
Please,
Pedro.
When I say older, I was not trying to be, and I say that intergeneration is really important. Me and Carla yesterday were just finishing the speech, and we were saying, and we were laughing a bit, and he asked me, "Do you know what is the greatest wish of a master?" And I will say yes, when the student overcomes the master. And he said, yeah, it was right. And we have all the, my master is my boss as well in Fundação, but he's my master. And we also have this intergeneration because he's a bit older than me, but we have these, we share different projects and we share different ideas, and we debate these in different ways because he has more mature see of the world and a more experienced way, and I might have a different approach of how youngsters see the world. And I guess it's important to work with the two ideas. So I just want to clear this out, so don't take me wrong, Eugene. Thank you.
No, relax. I'm not
very well. And then let's use this time frame that Rosaria is back. Rosaria?
Okay.
Rosaria, could you listen to the question?
I am listening to the question from Anis regarding
Yes.
the different cultural religions.
Exactly. Exactly.
So can I
please
answer now?
Please.
But I'm sorry if I'm speaking in the middle, the internet.
No problem.
Off again. I believe Anis is a great question. So I believe that different cultural or religions or gender, it's not a challenge, so it's not a problem for us.
We'll be coming back. Some seconds of lag.
Yeah.
Yes, it's back.
Sorry again, connecting again.
It's okay. It's okay. Please proceed.
So it's not like a problem for us to be going with our objective for the book initiative in Timor-Leste and in the world, because as you know, in Timor-Leste we have mostly is the Catholic religions, but we also have a Muslim here. We have Hindus. We have a Buddha. It's not as is the Portuguese said that impede, or it's not Indonesia was said hambatan, or a challenge to us to be move on the books initiative in this country. So we are Timor-Leste is the flexibility.
Rosaria is coming back. Wait a moment. Okay, he's back.
So
please, Rosaria. Yeah.
It's to bring in a book as an initiative for this country. It's rather than you have a different of cultural, or you have a different of religions, or you have a different of gender. You know, it is a book and education. It's not see the difference between cultural or religions or a gender. Yeah, is we want to be equality in the education. As I mentioned, is a free independent country. Independent with objective for what? Objective for the free of educations. Everyone.
She will be back. Count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is back.
Okay. Hello?
Yes, please.
Yeah. As I mentioned, that when we are in the fighting for being independent, so we have a main objective to get a free. It's not free for our nation, but free for any sector that was to contribute to develop our country. So when respond to a book initiative, how we can bring in a book initiative, respond to the different cultural and religious and gender, I think it's no have a problem. It's not something that stop us to move on. So we have a commitment.
It is important indeed. We hope to have Rosaria back. This is a great challenge. Yes, he's back. Rosaria, you are back?
Yes, sorry. So
no problem.
as I said, we have a commitment to move on. We have a commitment to develop our country, so develop ourselves and develop our next generation to be in the to develop our country in the future. So that's why cultural, religions, and gender, it's not a problem, or it's not something that it's make us stop not to move, but we have a commitment to move. Cultural, we join cultural, we join religions, and we join.
Yes. Just a few seconds, is back. Rosaria,
Yes.
you are on again. Yes, please.
Okay, so joining different cultural and religions and gender in this country to be united and focus on one objective in how to develop the next generations for this country with a main objective to be in education. So I think this is, I can respond to Annie's question.
Thank you very much. Eugene, I pass the floor to you.
Before you do,
yes, please,
Yeah,
David.
sorry, I was going to ask you, Vitório, if your experience with the Secretariat meant that you had come across, you must have come across lots of cultural exchanges, and presumably a fantastically well-developed network already.
Well, at the Secretariat, we served 8 different Portuguese-speaking countries' governments.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wondered to what extent it operates a bit like the Commonwealth for Anglophone countries.
It is interesting. It is exactly about sharing, but one particular point that distinguishes from the Commonwealth organization is that there's no head of Portuguese-speaking countries, CPLP. All member states are equal status, and even the votings for the projects are for full absolute majority. Means that all and each vote is equal between Timor-Leste and Brazil, Timor-Leste and Portugal, Portugal and Guinea-Bissau. So if any member state just is not agreeing on anything, so the project will not be passed for sure. But it is a challenge, and it is very interesting to understand the dynamics of CPLP that Timor-Leste belongs, as well as Portugal. Timor-Leste is not already the newest member state, because the newest member state of CPLP is Equatorial Guinea in so-called West Africa, or in the Gulf. Gulf of Guinea, I think is how you used to call it. But yes, on your point, there's a lot of cultural exchange, and then we must keep the channels open to Enyan's diversity, to keep the exchanges, and as well CPLP invested a lot on literature, cooperation and exchange among young people. I remember of some programs or challenges among young students from high schools from among the Portuguese-speaking countries, and then they had a challenge to present a poem or a small writing. And then, yes, we created a jury from those 8 Portuguese-speaking countries, and then time to time there came out a winner, and then they for as prize for winning the young person came to Portugal, and as well maybe the prize is to visit 1 or 2 member states. It is very interesting and engaging, for sure.
And I wondered if there was scope for introducing Eugene's program into the CPLP.
For all CPLP programs, as far as I know, if they didn't change any rules, to become eligible for becoming a CPLP project, you must engage, I think our international rules, more than 3 member states. I remember that ASEF Asian Europe Foundation project, which joins together European Union and ASEAN countries, plus 3 Japan, Korea, and People's Republic of China, must engage 3 member states at least to be eligible as CPLP project. So in this case, if we engage Portugal, Timor-Leste, and Brazil, or one Portuguese-speaking country in Africa, so for sure we can try to propose this project for CPLP, to have CPLP Executive Secretariat endorsement. But the last word will be from the Executive Secretary, of course.
Oh, absolutely. And it just seemed to me that obviously Brazil has a very large population. And just by weight of numbers, they presumably have an excess of books.
And then talking on Brazil or CPLP, who better than the Portuguese royal family that represents here in this session, His Royal Highness Dom Dinis de Bragança, because it is interesting that a branch of the family was as well the first emperor of Brazil.
Yes,
and in fact,
that
if I
when
on the risk of
Napoleon
interrupting,
invaded, I think.
Yeah.
Please, Your Royal Highness.
No, I do apologize of interrupting, but yes, in fact, and then my father is he comes from both lines, the Brazilian and the Portuguese line, which in the end reunited once again. So and indeed a bit to mention with the concept of diversity of religion and culture, would it be possible? What better else example do we have than the Portuguese communities all over the world, the descendants of the Portuguese communities which still live, and they are very well integrated in their own country, and all of them have a very healthy environment.
Exactly. Yes, David.
Sorry, I was simply going to try and show off with my limited knowledge of Portuguese history.
Thank you very much.
Because my understanding was that when Napoleon invaded the peninsula, the Portuguese royal family essentially took refuge in Brazil.
And set up the capital city of Portugal, in Rio.
Yeah.
With assistance of the Royal Navy.
Indeed, so I understand, yeah. But then again, obviously Portugal and the UK has had a long-standing, well, Portugal and England have had a long-standing relationship from sort of Henry the Navigator onwards. And obviously the British have a long history well, not necessarily a good one all the time, but a good history in Don Denise's home city of Porto, beautiful city of Porto.
Exactly. Thank you very much. I think that
Vitória,
Rosario. Yes, please.
Yeah, no. Vitória, while we're on this subject, right? You know, you and I, the second time was in the Asia-Europe program, right, in Malaysia, Youth and ICT, right, which we all work together on putting together. There is, I mean, if we can get Portugal to assist, I don't know how we can. But, like, you know, Portugal has an ambassador on the Asia-Europe Foundation. There is a new Japanese executive director. He's calling for ideas, right? If just the same, like, you know, these are, I'm always talking practicalities, how we can get things going as fast as possible. If there's some way we could convince the Portuguese side to be one of the main proposers of something like that, and it's not my project, right? It's SAEB. Eugene just happens to be involved. I don't have like that kind of thing. But if we could get like a friendly country to propose it, ASEF has 26 EU nations and 13 ASEAN plus 3, right? Timor-Leste is a country, which immediately means we have 39 countries that can be immediately immersed in this idea of collecting books, book clubs, sharing, reading, right, as a program, right? So, I mean, I leave it open to you, but how we need to do this is also to showcase what's happening. That's why Pedro Youth Foundation is really important. Your Royal Highness, you play a good, important role. If you can be a role model, I mean, you know, I don't know, like, I mean, if you can be a role model, I keep on asking you, I'm pressuring you, right? But, like, you know, your standing in society makes a difference, right? Maybe not to everybody, but it makes a difference, right? So it would be very helpful, and to show that, like, I mean, just to the world, for instance, here's a young royal, like, you know, like William before, right? Wanting to make a change, right? It's a huge difference. I mean, it's not exclusively that you're a young royal, but like others. I mean, here's young Anis, a young girl, right, from Muslim country, wants to make a change, right? There's Pedro, young fellow. Then there's the older folkies like us, like, you know, David, a prominent lawyer. His firm has 1,100 or 1,200 lawyers. I mean, I'm sure they have books to share, right? And they have the staff, and they have all the countries operating. We have Rosaria, who's like you know, a well-known person in a country and internationally, who can like help facilitate a recipient country as a pilot. So Portugal proposes to the Asia Europe Foundation, or CPLC, and like we coordinate everything. And the first recipient country, and Dom Dennis, your dad loves Timor. I know that, right? He spent his whole life
and East Timorese and East Timorese national.
So the link is there. Nasser in Middle East, he has like huge connectivities, and he has a huge connectivity with the Paralympian cohort of people. Plus, you know, special needs. We started speaking to the co-op group in Britain. They have 63,000 staff, and they have a turnover of 10 billion sterling pounds. Their campaign manager is a special needs person who Nasser knows from Olympics, right? So we bring this family of people together, right, of different levels or different statures, ages, and we just get this thing moving. But the important thing, why I'm talking so much about this is, right, we need to get it moving. Otherwise, this just becomes like talk, another online stream, another blah, blah, blah. So I keep on harassing and hassling all of you to say, like, you know, let's form this committee. Let's try and get a commitment now, here and today. We can let Vitório coordinate, so we can all share like our emails and knowledge between us, but we need to get it moving, right?
Exactly. I think that the role to Portugal, two institutions, is if I can call them like this, is for sure the Portuguese royal family, because is as well, many people is not aware, but Even Dom Manuel II Foundation is an consultative observer member of CPLP, and as well the Youth Foundation. They are very often used to cooperate with the Portuguese government in several projects. So these are two lines that can engage directly the institutions. We are seeking also to ask them to involve, for example.
Indeed, and
in Lisbon, just before I forget, in Lisbon, right? And I have been there, so I kind of in Liberty Street, right, or Liberty Avenue, right? Right, you have that Liberty Avenue in Libertas, right? You have the North-South Center Council of Europe, right?
Exactly.
Well, speak to them, right? Monica's there. I don't know if they are whoever is still there. I don't know who. I think the executive director is Portuguese. I'm not sure, right? So immediately you have all these things in the structures available, right? It's just how we connect with them and get it going, right?
Of course. Indeed.
And thank you, Vitório, for mentioning the foundation.
Yes, please.
Because the foundation, I was about to talk a bit about it. The foundation where my father works with, it basically promotes a lot of the projects. Most of them they tend to be self-sufficient projects all over the Portuguese-speaking communities and countries and whatnot. And for example, they've some years ago they've started the new journal, a new newspaper in East Timor, fully in Portuguese. So if there is a foundation with the connections, and if there is a foundation who could help, would definitely be the foundation where my father is working.
Very well.
Excellent.
That sounds very exciting, doesn't it? I must say, sounds very exciting.
And you know,
but
we got
on a very. I was going to say it's a very prosaic, sort of very basic sort of point, but I'm assuming that book sharing is going to work where there's an element of common language. I mean, I'm very fortunate in that I'm a native English speaker, and English is spoken very widely. But similarly, and therefore that's kind of like the reserve language currency of literature. But as far as Portuguese is concerned, one would assume that within Timor-Leste, for example, or Mozambique or wherever, that there's going to be a greater proportion of the people who are going to want to learn or read in Portuguese rather than German, French, or English. But I'm putting that as a sort of question, really, that I'm assuming that there needs to be a certain commonality around the language. Because whilst I endorse the commendable aspiration to have people of one culture reading in another culture's language, I think that is going to be quite difficult in many ways. I would have thought that it's another barrier to learning by not actually having a reasonably good knowledge of the language of the book that you're reading.
Thank you very much, David. So, Eugene, we are running almost 2 hours and 30 minutes of conference.
Really, sorry, everybody.
So, what are your final remarks? Maybe we should start with the final remarks with His Royal Highness Dom Dinis de Bragança.
Well, we are here all agreeing, and I think it's wonderful that we now have, after talking for some would argue maybe a bit too long, we could agree that now it's time to act, and indeed, as Eugene mentioned, we need to step forward because we cannot just run in circles. So I do thank you very much for all of your insights. I've learned a lot. And I am very excited to hopefully in the future cooperate in the project.
Thank you very much. Rosaria, can you tell us your final remarks? I don't know if it's online, or maybe Pedro. Pedro, can we count on you?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So first of all, thank you very much for being here today. It is a pleasure to meet you all and to be part of this wonderful project. Me, myself, and Carla, and Fundação da Juventude. It is a wonderful project, and as Royal Highness said, it is time to act, and there is no time to waste. Let's work now. We can do it, and it is. Let's go. Let's start working. Let's start multiplying youngsters, and let's make this real.
Thank you very much, Pedro. Rosaria, any final remarks? It's been difficult. Maybe Eugene, are you there?
Yeah, I mean, concur. Let's get it done. Are we allowed to share email with each other? Is it Your Royal Highness, you share your email, or it's like top secret kind of stuff?
Okay.
Sure. I will help to provide to link you all.
Okay. Really, like talking one thing. If we can get a working group together, sharing ideas, we have lots of resources to put. Whoever can do whatever takes and put. Like, you know, if you want to put to your father in the foundation, great. Pedro, if you want to do stuff with the youth foundation, great. David, within your company, Nasser within like Kuwait or Saudi, you know, lots of like wealthy, all that kind of stuff. Anis, you're also a university student. Your university might be interested. Rosaria can like speak to the leaders in her own country, the Minister of Education. We get something together as soon as possible. We are now in April, right? Hopefully we can get something done by, tomorrow. That's me. Like, but as soon as possible, right?
Exactly. Thank you very much. And Rosario, are you available at the moment? Maybe we are still facing some difficulties. So thank you very much, Nazer, Saleh, and Anis, for your excellent support and interest to this conference. Thank you very much, David, Carmichael. Rosaria is back. I hope to use this frame. Rosaria, are you okay?
I'm still okay.
So any final remarks from your side?
Yeah.
Mensagem final?
Mensagem final. Okay. So I hope for future, HIAM-Health can become a good partner with SAEBD, and then we can work together to support each other, as together we help each other. So
yes, I hope, yes, in 5-6 seconds Rosaria can be back. Is back.
Okay.
Yes, Rosaria, you are back.
The last message to all of you. So I hope for future we can collaborate together as partnership for working in the same mission to promote the book as an initiative, international initiative to Timor-Leste, and then to improve a better knowledge for all Timor-Leste next generation for the future. Thank you very much for time, and I'm sorry for the internet connection.
Okay, thank you very much. So I think that in the name of SAEB and Portuguese is in this company, we thank you all for your time. Thank you again, Your Royal Highness Dom Dinis de Bragança, Duke of Porto, Pedro, Special Advisor to the International Affairs of the Fundação da Juventude of Portugal. Thank you as well, Eugene, as co-organizer, and David Carmichael, the chair of SAEB International. Thank you to Rosaria for the persistence and to share the insights on Timor-Leste of the most updated news. And thank you very much, Nazer, Saleh, for your interest, and Anis for your precious support. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. See you next time.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.